I looked over at my partner's phone. I saw the women. I was like, get out! Everything that I felt was a lie. I knew better, and I let this happen. Not only do I hate love because it looks deceitful, I hate love because it makes you weak. My childhood marred love for me in a really, really dark and twisted way. It was filled with lies and deception and manipulations and infidelity.
You were the weakest person I'd ever met.
I wanted her to hurt. She was more grotesque than I'd ever imagined. I just couldn't take it anymore. To realize that it was born out of this loathing. I could see his face in agony about what he had done.
I would go through all of it all over again for you to have this moment.
As a child, Anna Lynne was betrayed by those who were supposed to love her the most.
The love I experienced early in my life, it does a huge disservice to the word love. My feelings as a child when I was growing up with my mom were very hostile. There was a lot of vengeful feeling. I wanted her to hurt because I felt hurt by her.
When she tried to talk about how she was feeling, her family refused to listen to her.
I often felt invisible, and some of the things that were happening to me as a child were unnoticed by anyone. I was constantly told by everyone that trailer park kids don't make it in Hollywood. I kind of silenced my dream. A lot of the things that I went through when I was a kid, they made me feel that I had to freeze up my emotions and my voice. Being an actress was the best way to be seen and heard.
Though Anna Lynne worked hard to make her dreams come true, she felt empty.
They ultimately offered the show 90210, and I was just like, no, I'm not doing this. Contacted my old acting partner, and I said, I'm done with acting. This is the most egotistical, me. I love what I did as an actress. I didn't like what came with it. And she said, you have such an incredible platform. She educated me on the issue of human trafficking. It was very profound, sex trafficking of children. It was something you can never unhear. I didn't even know what I was saying yes to, but I knew that it was bigger and better than the egotistical world in which I'd been thrown into. If I take this show and I work with this organization, I can help a bunch of little kids.
Anna Lynne started feeling something she'd always been afraid of.
Here I was fighting human trafficking. I had enslaved my little inner child. I didn't let her be free. Not okay. In the process of acknowledging and taking ownership for this, I was led by my girls in Cambodia to discover my child. She came out just automatically with the girls, and the piece of me that was missing was my inner child.
And despite understanding love, Anna Lynne was still traumatized by her past.
I had made love the bottom of the rung. It was filled with lies and deception and manipulations, infidelity, and I witnessed these perpetrations against my mother, and she chose to stay with the person who did this to her. Not only do I hate love because it looks deceitful, I hate love because it makes you weak. Look at how weak my mother is. How would she stay with someone who could persistently lie and manipulate? I started to see all of the negative sides of her, and I was like, oh, well, looks like she deserved it. She clearly can't walk away, so she's not strong. I set out on a journey to be the opposite of my mother in all capacities. I had this turning point. I had taken a shift towards love. And I didn't know that, but if someone had told me, I would have ran the other way.
As hard as she tried to resist it, Anna Lynne fell in love.
It was like soul meets soul, time stops, no one else exists. This person was my person forever. It coincided with my love for my girls in Cambodia and discovering the survivors of sex trafficking, the worst possible thing you can imagine someone doing to someone else. And yet, not only were they capable of love, they were capable of a deeper love than I'd ever fathomed possible. And so love became this second step. Even though I had done everything to be the opposite of the type of woman who gets that treatment, which would be my mother, I fell victim to it too.
As soon as she opened her heart to love, her worst fear came true.
I remember waking up one morning. I looked over at my partner's phone. I saw the women that he was talking to. I just immediately reacted in the way that my mother should have reacted, with strength. I was like, get out! 24 months of what I thought was this beautiful bliss. It was a lie. Everything that I felt was a lie. I knew better, and I let this happen.
The pain of being cheated on forced Anna Lynne to confront her own hypocrisy.
Was going through this panic for my partner. The feeling of him was palpable. It was as if he was in the room and I could see his face in agony. I just couldn't take it anymore. I was like, I need to know that he's okay. I called him. I asked him if he was okay. And he was like, why are you talking to me? I ruined your life. He actually felt so much guilt about what had happened that he was trying to stay away because he wanted at the least to respect that I wanted to get over him and move forward.
Anna Lynne was about to face her biggest challenge.
I came face to face with my shadow. I saw myself for the first time. She was a little bit more grotesque than I'd ever imagined her. I had been a liar. I had been a deceptive person. I had been manipulative. I had been a cheater. I actually got on the phone and called an ex who I had been unfaithful to. And I said, I need to apologize to you for who I was and the way I treated you in our relationship. And I'm so sorry. And he was like, I would have waited my whole life for this phone call. And even though I didn't necessarily jump at the idea of calling and apologizing, I took ownership with myself.
And suddenly, Anna Lynne saw her mother in a new light.
And driving in my car, I'll never forget, and I called my mom. And I said, for all these years, I thought you were the weakest person I'd ever met. When in fact, you're the strongest woman I've ever known. Because she didn't want to stay with my father, and all she wanted was for her 3 girls to have a father. She actually chose the deepest love, which was well-intentioned motherly love. And I said, I am in love with this man, and he's done all these things that I swore up and down would never happen to me. And I thought that if I was just as little like you as possible, then it wouldn't happen to me. And she said, honey, I would go through all of it all over again for you to have this moment.
Taking ownership allowed Anna Lynne to forgive her mother and the man she loved.
If I had never had this experience, I never would have discovered how beautiful my mom is as a human. I learned my capacity to love in that relationship. And I would go on to be with this partner for another several years. And then one day he told me, no one's ever loved me but you. In that moment of all of my pain and anguish that I had been lied to and I had been cheated on, the hell of that moment was instantly dissolved in the look in this person's eyes. I loved him because it was my opportunity to learn what love is.
Anna Lynne's story shows us that taking ownership is the first step towards true love.
I don't believe in mistakes. There can't really be a mistake if I learn from it. We fall down sometimes and we hurt ourselves and sometimes we hurt other people. So ownership is the key to freedom, returning to the child, and that's a return to love. And now I focus every day on being in my inner child. And so my dance is with my inner child and with my shadow. If you're doing something from fear, it's not coming from love. And for me, that's all there is. There is love and there's fear. Love is real, fear is an illusion. Everything must be from love for me now.